In this first video, we'll go through creating the mobile app designs of the Google Rank Tracking app for marketing purposes so that we can start a landing page before the app is launched to gather signups. So what I'd like you to do first is to go onto canva.com and to create an account. It's free to create an account. There is a premium package, but that shouldn't be needed in this course. So I'll give you a minute or two to create an account on Canva, and then I'll go ahead and start. So while you are creating the account, Canva can be used not only for creating app designs, but also, as you can see, for social media posts, to make documents, even t-shirt designs. It comes with a load of templates to help you so that anything you make will look professional, and it is just really easy. So if I search, for example, an Instagram post, it sorts out the layout for you and then gives you templates, and these look very professional, and you can just pick any of these. So let's say so we want this one. It starts off with the template you choose, and then all you have to do is edit the text for your own purpose. So ours might be sign up for our new Google Rank Tracking app. So this is great, and you can change the colors of what's on the template, and you can then browse other templates on the left hand side. There is a lot to take in, but after you've used Canva for a few days, you'll get the hang of it. So hopefully you've created an account now, and what we'll do is let's search for so on the home page, go to the search box. Let's see if they've got any mobile app templates. Where is it? Let's go to the home page. Mobile app UI. So UI stands for user interface. And so most of their templates are to do with marketing, graphics. Right, so what we'll do is we'll create a design from scratch with custom dimensions, and let's see what's the dimensions of an iPhone. So this is a very important part, by the way, when you're creating a mobile app. You want to make sure you've got the designs ready, and you want to be able to market your app as soon as you can. So the dimensions of an iPhone are, let's do it in pixels. Right, let's go for the iPhone X. So that's the dimensions. So we'll pick something around that. It's basically the height is nearly double the width, so that's fine. So we'll go for a width of, say, 1,000 and a height of 2,000. You can always change the dimensions afterwards. Right, yeah, so that's a good looking dimension. And now let's see if they've got any mobile app, like a design of an iPhone that we can put our designs onto. So So they've got, as you can see, there's some free options, and then there's some pro, which you'll need the pro plan for. So let's go for the free option. Let's pick this one. That looks good. Cool. Now if you want to create another page on your design, you just press the plus button, or you can press the copy button, which we'll use later. For now, I want to just add some notes so we know exactly what pages we need to create. So I'll create a new page, and then I want to move this page to be page number 1. So I'll click the arrow top. That's moved it here. And let's add some text. So to add text, let's see, yeah, on the left there's a text option here, and then you can choose between their designs and fonts if you want. We'll just go for something simple. Let's go for this. Ooh, that's quite small. And then you can just use the resize tool to make it look bigger. Okay, so this is the app that businesses will use to track their position on Google. So Google, rank tracking app. And let's add another one. And then over here, like if you want to copy something on the canvas, you just click on it and then do a copy and paste using keyboard shortcuts, or you can right click on it. And now let's say, so when, let's say a user downloads this app, the first thing we want to ask them, so the first screen they'll see is, what's your website address? Okay, and I'll just make the font a bit smaller. Cool, so we want to ask them what's their website address, and so what location do they operate in? So, and then, so once they've put in their website address and their location, we already know what service they are offering, because our app is going to be targeted for a particular type of business. So in this example and throughout the course, I'm going to use my type of business will be a tuition center, so private education, which parents usually send their children to here in the UK to get some extra help. And there's loads of tuition centers in each town, and so the competition there is quite high, and so this app should be good for those owners. So let's do and now you can choose any type of business you want. There will be another video to help you choose the business for you, but in this video you can just choose tuition center if you want, or a restaurant, and everything we do throughout the course will be applicable to any type of business. So it doesn't matter what you choose now, you can always change it later. So we know the type of business they are. We now know their website address and the location they operate in. So using those 3 pieces of information, we're going to construct a Google search query such as tuition center in, and then their location. Like this is just an example. And then using the search results, we'll then see where their website address is located in the rankings. So this is all the information we need to get going. So the first screen, we could combine these into one screen, but I think it will just be, the UI will look cleaner if we ask one question at a time on each screen. Right, so that's the first two screens. And then, so once they've entered it, we then want to show them a leaderboard. And so, of their rankings. And so this leaderboard will contain, it will contain their rankings. So leaderboard page, and this will be their main page. Now something else we want actually is, so every business usually conducts a few different services. So for example, a tuition center, they would offer, tuition for, depending on your age and what subjects you're doing. So like in the UK, there's an entrance exam called the 11+. So most tuition centres would offer 11+ tuition. They'd offer GCSE tuition, which is another set of exams that the majority of people take, and also A-level exams, which are the exams that happen just before university. So they would have, they would be offering these different services, and so I think we should ask them that as well. So then we can give them their rankings, not just as an overall business, but also for each type of service. So they might be number one for 11+ tuition in location, but they might be number 10 in a different service such as GCSE. So it's important that they know that, and I think they'll like that. So let's add a third screen, which would be, what services do you offer? Right. So on the leaderboard page, what do we want to show? So I think we'd want to show their website address, and we want to show a trophy to make the UI look good. Basically the trophy should show an average of their rankings, like when you take into account all of the services they offer. So trophy with average position. And then we want to list their services and the ranking. So list of services and rankings. And then also on this page at the bottom, we want to, so we're going to limit them to, let's say, either 2 or 3 services that they can have on the free plan of your mobile app. And then we'll show them a big button saying add service. So if they do have more than 3 or 2 services and they want to add one more, then they'll need to subscribe to your mobile app and pay you an X amount of money per month. So an add service button. And then we'll need, so when they click on add service, we'll then need to show them the add service page, but we already got that page from number 3, so we can reuse that. And can you think of any other pages? Well, I think this is enough to start off with. And so I mean, there will be a settings page and maybe a privacy policy and terms and conditions, but for the purposes of marketing this app before launch, we don't need to show those. This should be enough. Right. These are just our notes. We could rebrand this to make this part of the marketing, but for now let's go straight onto the mobile app. Let's try and make this as big as possible, that much. And then when you're dragging elements around in this canvas, you'll notice there's a like this line that just came up in the middle, this vertical line. That means it's now centered. So if I move it to the left, that line's gone. But as you move it to the right, it should try and lock the element. Like now, no. Yeah, that's locked. That's really handy for when you want to center stuff, and that's really how professional designs are made, when you've got everything, you know, centered, the margins are equal, and everything's symmetrical. So that's our app. So page 1 will be, what's your website address? Okay. Oops. So I want to get rid of this background. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah. So to get rid of the background, click on the element, and then on the top you'll see all of these colors, and these are all of the colors that are used on this element. So for example, the border is, if I change this one to red, it should change something in there which is not visible, but the background is this multicolored color. So let's change that and go for white. So now that looks removed, and now we can, let's add an input box. So on the left on Canva, click on elements and type in input, or a search box. No, search input maybe. Right, we've got something that looks okay, but I don't like the mouse icon on there. Let's see. Okay, the other option is you can just draw the elements using shapes, which is, I think, also good. And then let's find one which has rounded corners. That's good. And then just use the resize options to resize it into a search box. Okay, and we want some text. Probably want to make this a different color. Let's do gray. And then let's add text so they know what they need to do. Let's add a heading. Okay. So what's your, no. So please enter the address of your website. And again, I encourage you to make this app your own and choose your own wording. But again, you can always change the wording after. It's not going to take much effort to do that. Okay, so we've got this. Let's add part of that onto a new line. Like that. Cool. And then, so most likely, so when they come onto this page, we're going to open the keyboard automatically, which should cover the bottom half of the page. So don't worry about, there's a lot of blank space on this. Let's see if Canva's got any keyboard elements. Otherwise, we can just imagine it. So keyboard, mobile. Yep, it does. So these are pro, yeah, they don't have a free one. So I'm going to use the pro for this video, but what you can do is you can always take picture from Google Images and then just paste that into here. If this works, let's use the other one actually. Cool. And let's add some text in the input box. We'll start off with the website protocol, which is usually HTTPS. Cool. So there you go. That didn't take long. Obviously we can jazz this up, maybe have a different background color. So let's do that. So earlier I changed the background to white, so I can click on the same color up here and we can choose a different color. Let's go for something not too vibrant. You know what? White's good enough for now. Alright, so that's our first screen, which it's very simple. And so what we're going to do now is go on to page 2, which is what location do you operate in, and we can just use the copy page option here to make a new page and just change the text to which location does your business operate in? Okay. Let's do that. Cool. And then enter town or postcode. Let's just do enter town. Alright. So far that's quite simple for the user. They just have to enter their current website address, the town that they operate in. And now we'll go ahead and go for the third screen, which is what services do you offer. So again, let's copy the page. And then which, let's see, choose up to 3 services that your business offers. Okay, and then over here, this is where it gets specific to the type of business this app is catered for. So we're going to use this as a button and go back here. Right, so because my app is going to be for tuition centers, I'm going to go ahead and enter a few different services that a tuition center might offer, which could be 11 plus. I'm going to center it a bit bigger. So if you want to now group these, so as you can see, I've got a text element here and then a box behind it. If you want to drag them around, I recommend clicking on one of them and then holding shift, so the shift button on your keyboard, and then click on the other element. So now they're grouped, let go of shift, and you can drag them together like that. So while they're both selected, I'll do a copy and paste. Also, we don't need the keyboard here because they won't be typing anything. And just make sure everything's aligned, and you can use Canva's helpful dotted lines to do that. And let's do another one. That's enough. So the other one could be key stage 3, GCSE. So I mean, if you're in America, let's see what would be there. So what's yeah, so I mean, if you're in America, maybe you're going to have different services here for tuition centers. Maybe it's the SATs, might even be kindergarten, but continue here, A level, and maybe they have career advice as well. Cool. And to jazz this up, let's make it multicolored. So let's use a blue, yellow, blue, not a blue, it's too dark, purple, yeah, that one. Oops. Yeah, that looks good. So that's, again, very simple. So we're only going to let them pick 3 of these when they're signing up. And then if they want to add more services, then they'll have to subscribe to your app. So that's the first 3 pages. And then we want the main page, which is the leaderboard page. Okay, so let's do another copy page. And so this is where things, you can make your own design if you wish. The advantage of following exactly what I'm doing here, excluding the wording can always be your own, because when I am going through the actual coding process and making the app, if your design looks the same, it's going to help you a lot and you won't have to make additional changes. So I'd recommend just sticking to the same design, but go ahead and change the wording or the colors. Fine, so this is the main page. So let's see, what do we have? So their website address, a trophy with the average position, and then a list of services and their rankings and the service button. So what we'll do is, because we've got these buttons already, we can reuse these as part of our main page and the same colors as well. But let's move all of the text. Well, actually, instead of doing it individually, let's use the shift key to select all of the text elements. Like that. And then, no, they're not going to move nicely because they're all centered. Right, let's do it individually. Let's move it to the left so we can make room for the position on the right hand side. Let's do that. And then you'll see as you're moving it to the left, Canva's helpful. Aligning dashed lines will help you. It will just lock it in place as you're moving to the left. Right, and in this example, let's assume they picked 11 plus GCSE and A level. So let's delete key stage 3. move this one down. Maybe, yeah, let's move this one down. Oops. Like that. And we'll repurpose the career advice to be the add button. So add service. And that can be centered because it's a button. Okay. And over here we'll put in their website address. So we'll use an example of, let's do thinksmartacademy.co.uk. Now, so I mean, we can do some clever things such as using the website address to then find out their company name, or we can ask them to enter the company name. I think for now we'll go ahead with just their website address, and if we've got time in the course we'll try and scrape their name. So if I go onto this website, this is a tuition center. Yeah, they've got their name here, and so what we'll need to find is we'll need to find a place where a company's name usually is on different websites. So it is a bit complicated. I mean, one option would have been to just use the company name from, you see this, the meta title at the top on the tab. But this website doesn't use their name on here. They instead use the services they offer in the town. So we can't use that. So yeah, we'll stick with just their website address for now. And maybe we'll remove the protocol to make it look better. Yeah. Right, let's center that. Over here. Now let's add a trophy. So back to elements on the left. Get a trophy. Let's pick a free one if there is. And we want to add a number there, so a trophy with less text. Yeah, this is good. Right, so these designs are going to be very simple, and what might happen is when we're coding we might be like, we've got this extra information, let's also show that. But it doesn't matter if we've missed things out in these designs. This is purely for marketing your app in the beginning, and also to help you when you're coding. So don't worry if you think we can add more stuff, because yes, we can. And we'll be updating the marketing screenshots after the app is ready as well. Let's move all of that down here. We want to add their town as well, so we can do that under their website address. Let's copy this text. Now this tuition center is in Slough. And now, so if I just show you, so they've got an SEO form, an SEO firm that does their marketing and SEO. And so if you type in, let's say 11 plus tuition in Slough, let's see where they're ranking. Think Smart, so they're number one on their rankings for 11 plus. And then so a company like this, they would really benefit from this app, because they'd obviously want to know if they have a drop from position one. But equally, let's say this tuition center, AE tuition, they'd also want to know how they're doing and what, if they're making improvements to their website, how they can get to the top. And that's applicable to all types of businesses. Google really is one of the key search tools when it comes to people finding services around them. So let's change 11 plus to the town that they're in, which would be Slough in this case. And again, so this tuition center, I think they only have one location, but let's say they had multiple, as is the case for many local businesses. They might have a branch in several towns. So one extra feature we can add is, so how we've got ad service here, we might want to offer them a ad location so they can track their positionings for different locations, and again we can charge for that, but we won't do that for now. Okay, so we've got their trophy. Let's add a big number on it, and we'll choose the number 1. And then let's center this on the trophy, but let's do number 2 actually. Well, let's see. So what I'll do is let's do a quick Google search for all, and see what ranking they are for these 3 services, just to make it look real. So 11 plus, we know they're number 1. So let's do GCSE and A levels. Let's change that. So for GCSE tuition, they're number 1. So you might be asking, what about these? These listings under the map. So this is called the map pack, the local listings. For our application, we're going to be tracking the organic search listings, which happens just after the map pack. So starting from here, this would be number 1, this would be number 2. And then let's type in A level. So here they're number 2. So that's 1 plus 1 plus 2. So let's work out the average. And this is exactly what we're going to be doing, but just in an automated fashion. So that's 4, and then so we want to do 4 divided by 3 to get the average, which is, there you go, 1.33. So yeah, their average position is, if we round it down, it's the 1. So that's fine. And then for each service, we want to add their positioning there as well. So let's copy that text, move it to the right. So for 11 plus, they were 1. Oops. Let's see. So you can zoom in if you want. So I'm going to go for fill, just so I can get more granular control. So there's 1 here. And let's change this color. Yeah, we'll just go for the slightly darker shade. And then let's copy that for the others. Right, so there were 1 there, and then there were number 2 for A level. Okay, let's zoom out. Oops, not that. Okay. So that's probably as simple as apps get. Does look a bit boring though. That's okay. So they've got the average position, but they probably don't know what these numbers are next to each one. So we want to try and add something to this UI to let them know what these numbers mean. So we can add some text under the trophy, I think. Let's do this one, copy that. So let's say maybe your average. So your average position on Google is, the colon. Yeah, we can put the trophy underneath this actually. See, if we were doing this while coding, we'd be wasting a lot of time, moving elements around using code. So at least here we can use this drag and drop interface if it allows me to select the trophy. Yeah. Okay. Let's make the trophy a bit smaller. Oops. Okay. Fine. That's okay. So now they know what the average position on Google is. And now I'm thinking whether we need some text for each of the services. So I think we should. Or let's add a trophy. Yeah, let's just add let's add a trophy next to each of these numbers. So let's copy this trophy that we already have. Let's make it small. It's going to conflict with this yellow color, but that's alright. Let's zoom in, actually. Cool. Okay. So if you just noticed, I moved this trophy on top of this number, and now the number can't be seen. So if you want to move it back behind the number, you right click on the element and click send backward. If I click send to back, then it's going to go behind the button as well. So we just want to go backward once. That's fine. Let's make the trophy bigger. Yeah, that looks good. So now we can assume that they know what the trophy means, because at the top of the page, we've told them that the average position on Google is 1 on a trophy. So they should be able to deduce that the trophy means the position. Okay, let's do the same here. Send back, and again here, send back. Cool. Oops. Alright, that's looking good, apart from this text here. So how can we make this look better? So I'm quite happy with the trophy and the services below it and the button, but I'm not happy with the top part of the app. So let's see what we can do. Right, so when you're struggling with some ideas, the best thing to do is to see what other people do. So let's go on to Pinterest. Pinterest is amazing. They have loads of UIs, user interfaces for mobile apps that you can get ideas from. And do I have to log in? Nope. UI. And then just click on any of these. And then usually what you'll find on Pinterest are expert user interface designers, and so if you just copy them, you're going to be doing something professional. So here's something similar. See, like they've got an image here which is a bit like our trophy, and then they've got some text and some other text. Right, so they've grayed out this second, or the third one, to try and break things up. Let's try that. So this one here. It's too grey. Bit darker. Yeah. Also, I don't like the white background. Well, what we can do with this is we can put this behind, like we can add a navigation bar that most apps have. So let's get a block. Elements. Let's see if this works. I want to send this back if possible. Oops, no. So I want this to go behind the notch, but it's not letting me. Right. Let's just try some different background colors for now. Dun, dun, dun. Dark mode is cool. Yeah, let's go for dark mode. That's trending these days. Yeah? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Change that to white text. And this needs to be a bit lighter. Yeah, that's alright. But then, so now because this screen is dark, let's make the other screens dark as well. Cool. So let's go back to page 2. Let's go like that. Change the text to white. Input box can be a bit darker now, and the text needs to be white or a light shade. Yep, that's fine. And then same again here. It's the wrong one. Cool. So that's basically the app. One thing we're missing is the splash screen, which isn't really part of the app, but it's the first thing you see when you open the app. So let's do that as well. Alright, this one needs to be black as well. and then this screen goes above the leaderboard screen. So page 5 should be the trophy page. Page 4 is services. Cool. Now let's add. So let's create one more page. And copy the trophy one. And then let's move that to the top. So use the arrows to get that to be page 2. Okay. Cool. And then this will be. So on the splash screen, normally what you see is the logo of the app and the name of the app. So in this case, I'll probably stick with the trophy as the logo, as that's quite consistent. Let's delete that. Delete all of that. Oops. Cool. And then let's center it. Let's find the center. I think this might be one. And then let's add a slogan as well, which will be so keep track of your position on Google. That's basically what the app does. And let's add the name of the app above it. And so the name, can be anything. In my case, I'm going to call it ImTim. Let's make it bigger. Oops. Bigger than that. Cool. And I'm going to go for a green. A light one. Yeah. Oops. All right. So we've covered everything that we had in our notes, and now, so we've got the splash screen. That's what they'll see when they first open the app. They'll then be asked, so only the first time they open the app, they'll be asked these questions, which will be enter the address of your website, which location do you operate in. So far that's really good because they've only had to enter text twice in this whole app, which is their website address, the location, and then they just choose what services they offer, and then our app is going to go away and crawl Google and find out their positionings and work out the average, and that's it. So in the next video we'll be using these screenshots for marketing, and the whole purpose of this course is so that you can launch this app and have customers on it within 1 month. And so that's why I thought we'd do the marketing side first, so we can have a landing page. You'll have a website ready that you can then start giving to prospective businesses. During the 1 month, if you're doing a tuition center, for example, just go into a few tuition centers in your area, or if you're doing restaurants, go into a few restaurants, give them your website address or wherever the landing page is hosted. They'll see these screenshots, and we'll be adding an email capture form so they can enter their email address to get onto the waiting list. Right. So see you next time, and goodbye.